Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. I do appreciate you stopping by. Guys, this is MILF, Mother's Imperial Liquid Fantasy, or there's some other abbreviations that go with some derogatory notes on MILF. Take it for what you want there, guys. This is from Mother's Brewing Company. This is 11% American Imperial Stout, and I think it has some bourbon notes in it. I have been sent this beer before. I didn't go back and look and see what year it was or whatever. I think Tom sent me some of this at one time. These guys are out of Missouri, and Mr. Fudge sent me this one, and he sent me several different years of this. So this is the 2016. He's got bottled on January the 5th of 2016. 17, 18, 19. This is well over 3 years old in the bottle. So I try to do the older ones first. Even if it's an Imperial Stout or IPA or double IPA or whatever it is, I try to get to the older ones if I have multiples of the same brew in different years or different batches. So this is a 2016 edition one, and like I said, I think I've done this before. I didn't go back and look. So I don't know what year that I did or how fresh it was at the time. I did not. We're going to do this like I've never had it before and judge it accordingly. So once again, Mr. Fudge, thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. I know these beers, 11%, especially a bourbon barrel, is an expensive beer to buy, and then on top of that, expensive beer to ship when you're shipping the monster beer barrel package that you did me the other day, about a week ago. So with that being said, let's get on with this one. Final beer of the evening for me, and like I said, Mother's 2016. We'll mark this off the sheet so we know that we reviewed it. And let's jump over to Untapped and see if they have additional information. 11%, and they do have the 2016 listed where Beer Advocate does not. 50 IBUs are telling me on this, and the commercial description says you're in for a treat with this one, brewed with cocoa nibs and raisins and then lovingly aged in rum, sherry, bourbon, brandy, and whiskey barrels. So they blended this beer. They've aged it in a bunch of different barrels and then blended it together to come up with what was in the bottle here now. So it says this big beer takes on flavors from the spirit and woods of each barrel. The end result is a complex and elegant companion that's right for carefree nights of privilege and excess. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't go back and look at the review that I've done on this beer or what year it was or anything, but I recall it being a very tasty beer. So hopefully the ones he has sent me have aged well and cellared well and are tasty. So with that being said, that's all we need to talk about. We've got the year, we've got the ABV, and we've got the IBUs. So 12-ounce bottle. Let's get it open. Nice hiss, a little bit of smoke. Into the glass we go, 11%. We're going to go down the center on this one. And that's about as aggressive as I can pour a beer, guys. And 11%ers produce a very nice head, good finger of khaki colored head. Good looking stout, very black, no light coming through it, guys. To the nose we go. Oh man. Very nice bourbon notes, and since they've done it and bourbon, it says here they've done it in what did I tell you, cocoa nibs, raisins, in rum, sherry, bourbon, brandy, and whiskey barrels. So they've done 5 different barrels on this. So they put some of this beer in 5 different barrels and blended them all together before they bottled it. In this particular year anyway. Wonderful aroma. I'm getting the bourbon and the whiskey. Rich roasted malt. Some hint of some molasses. Maybe be some dark fruit in there once it warms up. Bittersweet chocolate. Smells awesome, guys. It really does. 11%er. Awesome smelling, awesome looking beer. A great looking beer, don't you think? Very nice. And it's already leaving some lacing here on the side from the head that I poured on, and I ain't even taking a sip out of it. So let's do that. Let's sip it. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Mr. Fudge. Oh yeah. That is a complex beer, guys. I mean, I'm getting some bourbon, I'm getting some a little bit of rum, I'm getting the whiskey, bourbon, and they've done it in sherry barrels, and rum, sherry, bourbon, brandy, and whiskey. I don't know how long they left it in each barrel, and whether they're first run barrels that's never had beer in them before. Very complex, a lot of flavors and a lot of aromas in this beer with that many different barrels that they blended this beer in before they bottled it. But I am getting the barrel notes, whether it's rum, whiskey, bourbon, sherry, brandy. Slight hints of all that stuff going on here. Fairly easy drinking for 11%. Alcohol is fairly well hidden for 11%. Delicious beer. And like I said, I didn't go back and look at what year I did, but I know I've done this beer before. It had been sent to me because I cannot get it here. And like I said, these guys are out of Missouri. I would probably buy this beer if I could get it here, especially with it that they got the date on it. Month, date, a year, and ABV, and especially having all the different barrel aging that they've done on this. Impressive beer. Very nice beer. But it's right out of the fridge, and look at the lacing it's already left on there. I mean, it had lacing on it from just the head retention dropping back down from the time I poured it till the time I took a sip. Very impressive. Well-made beer. So I really wish I could get my hands on these beers here. It's definitely a well-made beer. And if you can, I mean, just imagine how much space it's taking up with 5 different barrels that they're aging this brew in before they blend it all together and bottle it. So, very nice. Very, very nice. Right out of the fridge, we're going to sip on it, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Just sipping on it a while. Awesome lacing is left on the glass. Very complex beer at this stage, being a 2016 edition. A lot of notes from the brandy, bourbon, whiskey, sherry, all the different barrels that they've used on this. And I got a feeling this is probably just going to get a little better with age, but to me, it's not quite to the 10 scale, but it is very close, guys. To me, a very enjoyable beer. A great final beer of the evening, which it is for me. And like I told you earlier, I didn't go back and look at what year that I did before, what vintage it was, or what grade I gave it. I'm drinking this like I've never had it before, and I'm very impressed with it. A very complex beer, a lot of flavors and notes and aromas to go with this beer. Very impressive. And you guys in Missouri that can get this beer, I don't know what their distribution is, how far out it goes from the brewery, but it's definitely, if you like this style of beer, this is a very impressive beer. Like I said, I don't think it's quite to the 10 scale, but it is pretty close. Wonderful aroma on this beer. Absolutely outstanding on the aroma. Final chug. super easy drinking to me for an 11%. Alcohol is pretty impressive as far as being concealed. And very easy drinking for 11%. Very, very well made beer. It is. It is a very well made beer, guys. To me, I'm going to give it an A category, but I'm going to probably go against a grade on this. And I have several other different batches of this that Mr. Fudge has sent me. Delicious beer. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. 97 for me, guys. This is definitely worth buying, and I would buy it if I could get it here. That's the biggest recommendation I can give to a beer. If I tell you I would buy it, it is worth picking up, especially if you like this style of beer. And if all the different barrels that they've used and then blended it together, you're getting a little bit of characteristics from each barrel. And you're going to get a little bit of the woodiness and the vanilla and a slight hint of some coconut and the molasses and the roasted malt and the chocolate. Very nice. Very well done. Very, very well done. You got my grade over to Beer Advocate. They say 4.27 in the outstanding range. It is an outstanding beer, guys. No doubt about it. If you can get your hands on it, you need to pick this up. And if you can afford to pick up multiples of this one in different years, do a vertical and see how it's cellared. If you can taste something better, different from one year or one batch to the next, that's the whole idea. That's the game. That's what I do, guys. That's exactly what I do. Some batches are better than others, and some are pretty close. So it is what it is. I enjoyed this. Would buy it. Untapped has it at 4.29. Impressive numbers from those guys too. I'm giving it a little bit better grade than both of these guys. But I think it is a great beer to pick up, a great beer to drink, a great beer to cellar. Awesome beer. It is. Not quite to the world class, but pretty close. So, if you've had the MILF from Mother's Brewing, this is the 2016 edition. Let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.